On
The Great Pumpkin
WTOP-10
Run,
Nightly
a
News,
beloved
SUNY Oswego hosted its annual Great Pumpkin Run this past weekend.
Find out how an elderly woman
tradition
was
here at
killed.
SUNY Oswego. As part of the
And
campus's
it's Free
Family and
SUNY
Friends
Vacation
Weekend,
Week.
the Great
Hear
Pumpkin
how
Run
this
encourages
can
students
benefit you.
Keep going.
Good evening and welcome to Governor Kathy Hochul announced that different universities throughout New York State will offer free college application opportunities for high school seniors and transfers. The State University of New York, the City University of New York, over 50 private colleges, and many other New York universities are coming together to offer these applications for New York State's College Application Month.
College Application Month is part of the National American College Application Campaign that spans across all 50 states. The month is meant to encourage students from low-income families, first-generation students, and others who may not be able to apply or submit college applications early.
Tomorrow, SUNY Oswego will be holding a naloxone, more commonly known as Narcan, training for students, faculty, and staff. The training will be 1 hour from 3:30 to 4:30 in Marano Campus Center Room 256. The goal of the training is gain knowledge and skills to recognize and respond to an opioid overdose. At the end of the training, participants will receive a free naloxone kit.
The State Employees Federated Appeal, or CFA, Breast Cancer Awareness Campaign, runs through the rest of the month. Oswego will be showing their support by wearing pink on Wednesday. An event and picture will be taking place from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Marano Campus Center Auditorium. Organizers will draw prizes, and everyone who donates $5 or more to the campaign will receive entry prizes, including Stanley mugs, a dozen pink roses, Pink Day apparel, and much more.
A free event will be held in the Marano Campus Center Auditorium from 5:30 to 7 p.m. this Thursday, discussing the 50 years of LGBTQIA+ history and activism at SUNY Oswego. Professor Dr. Eric Wade will moderate the panel and present an overview of our history. Other panelists including Dr. Mareed Curtin from the English Department, graduate student Katie Merrick, and Renee Landers Jennings, former Senior Associate Director of Resident Life and Housing. This past weekend was Family and Friends Weekend at SUNY Oswego. There were many different events to celebrate the occasion.
One of the events was the Pumpkin Run. For more on the festivity, here's Joe Seidman.
Thanks, Casey. The Great Pumpkin Run was held on Saturday. Students alongside their friends and family members participated in a fun run to support a great cause.
The Great Pumpkin Run, a beloved tradition here at SUNY Oswego. As part of the campus's Family and Friends Weekend, the Great Pumpkin Run encourages students alongside their family and friends to partake in a 5-kilometer fun run. Runners started their process by registering in the Marano Campus Center, where they received a t-shirt and a running bib. The participants made their way to the starting line, where they lined up before starting on Director of Campus Recreation Brian Wallace's cue. Wallace created the event 17 years ago because of his passion.
And I'm really into fitness, and I try to get people active, and one of the best things you can do is just walk or run.
Wallace has seen the Great Pumpkin Run evolve, but over time, Wallace still recognizes how important the event is for those who attempt it.
It's something that they can do together with their students, and it's also a great opportunity for them to see all of campus, which they normally don't get a chance to do.
These are just a few of the perks Wallace sees from participation in the Great Pumpkin Run.
When the runners crossed the finish line, the group of over 100 were all greeted with cheers and the top 3 with medals, promoting sportsmanship.
Over $500 was raised for organization Blessings in a Backpack. Blessings in a Backpack supports elementary school children in the Oswego area who need food during the weekends. Reporting in the studio, Joe Seidman, WTOP-10. Soad, Casey, back to you.
Thanks, Joe. At least one teenager in Stockbridge is under arrest. A car crash in a stolen vehicle causing the death of another driver. The car was being driven by 19-year-old Evan Donda with a 16-year-old passenger who authorities are refusing to name. Donda had a blood alcohol content of 0.9% according to a breathalyzer test. Donda has been charged with second-degree vehicular manslaughter, endangering the welfare of a child, DUI, and multiple traffic violations.
A person has been stabbed and another person has been shot in an outdoor party in upstate New York. Guiderland Town Police were called at 1:49 a.m. To what was an organized music festival for a stabbing. The individual had a stab wound to the head, and while police were still on the scene, gunshots could be heard, and it was soon learned that a man was shot in the shoulder. Both were transported to the hospital for treatment, and the investigation is still ongoing, with no suspects.
An 80-year-old woman in Manhattan has died after being ran over by a box truck. Around 10 a.m., the woman was crossing the street where she would trip and fall onto the crosswalk. Around the same time, the box truck was driving down the same street where it would hit her and leave the scene. The truck driver said he didn't know that he had hit someone. Casey, today was unusually warm.
Yeah, it was so bad. I wonder how long it'll last.
Me too. For that, let's get a look at your forecast with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders.
Thanks, guys. Taking a look at our current conditions, it's currently 58 degrees out. It is a lot warmer than it should be for this time of year, and that's going to last a couple more days. I'll have more in my full forecast, but let's take a look at the temperatures around the state right now. We're sitting around 56 around Oswego, and as you look throughout the state, we're in the lower 60s and mid 50s for the majority of the state. These temperatures will rise tomorrow and then tank as the cold front moves in. I'll have more in my full forecast, but for now, back to the desk.
Coming up later tonight, another lawsuit against former President Trump.
And more election updates.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTOP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTOP.
Free. Freeze.
welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders. Taking a look at our temperatures across the state, we're sitting around 56 in Oswego, mid-60s and lower 50s across the state. Looking at our predicted temperatures, we're looking at around 55 degrees around 9 a.m. on Tuesday. As we head throughout the day, looking into your afternoon, we hit 77 degrees. This is very warm for this time of year. We definitely don't see this very often. As we head throughout the evening, we hit around 60 degrees. And as you head into Wednesday, we're going to have some rain move on in. Our temperature hits 63 around 8 a.m. As you head throughout the day, we're around 4 p.m. while you're out about, we're around 70 degrees, but the temperature will start to taper off, and we hit 57 as we head towards 9 p.m. Or if you're wondering what to wear with these temperatures, I'm thinking tomorrow you could get away with a t-shirt, shorts, and a little hat. It's going to be around 76, 75 degrees tomorrow, very unusually warm. And again, talking about our departure from normal, today and tomorrow, we're sitting around almost 18 degrees above normal. This is very abnormally warm. And then we have a cold front move in and our temperatures drop and we hit around less than 7 degrees below normal. This is very abnormal for this time of year to be going from high to low. A lot of you might be feeling that sickness because of that temperature change. Looking at our radar right now, we're pretty empty right now, nothing really going on, but this is going to change as we head into Wednesday. And taking a look, we have our cold front that is going to move on into the area, but we're still sitting in high pressure for now. Today and tomorrow, you can expect that high pressure to stick around, but as you head towards Wednesday, our temperatures start to taper off and some precipitation moves in. You might be wondering, what does the foliage look like? Well, right now around our area, we're almost at peak, or past peak actually, for this part of New York. This is very interesting to look at, just taking a look. And as you head into our 7-day forecast, Tuesday we're sitting around 76 degrees, very abnormally warm, but as you head throughout the week, our temperatures start to taper off as that cold front moves on in. As you head through Thursday, we have a low of 40 degrees, very chilly on Thursday, but our temperatures stick around the mid-50s, upper 40s as you head throughout the week. That's all for my full forecast. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Brianna. Members of the so-called Central Park Five are suing former President Trump for defamation over claims he made about them during the 2024 presidential debate. In 1989, the five men were wrongly convicted of raping and beating a female jogger and were later exonerated in 2002 when DNA evidence linked the crime to another person. At the time, Trump bought full-page ads calling for the return of the death penalty against the men. An American civil liberties attorney will become the first open transgender person to argue before the Supreme Court. He will present his case before the Supreme Court to challenge the Tennessee law against gender-affirming care for minors. The law bans hormone therapy, puberty blockers for minors, and gives civil penalties for any doctor who violates the ban. Chase Strangio is the co-director of the ACLU's LGBTQ and HIV project and will be appearing on behalf of 3 minors and a doctor from the state of Tennessee.
Vice President Kamala Harris is receiving some unconventional support in her race for the White House. Former Republican Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney is campaigning with Harris today in several key battleground states. Julia Benbrook gives us a look at the latest developments in the race.
An unlikely duo on the campaign trail. Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee for president, and former Representative Liz Cheney, who not that long ago was one of the top Republicans in the House of Representatives. The pair traveling to suburban counties in key swing states Monday. Cheney, a staunch conservative, voted to impeach Donald Trump, was primaried and ousted. She's a part of a growing group of Republicans who have said they believe the former president is a threat to democracy.
You have to choose in this race between someone who has been faithful to the Constitution, who will be faithful, and Donald Trump.
The Harris campaign views these appearances as a way to reach undecided and persuadable voters. Just last week, Harris rallied alongside more than 100 Republicans who have backed her candidacy.
No matter your party, no matter who you voted for last time, there is a place for you in this campaign.
Part of the group she's trying to reach, those who supported former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in the Republican primary. Despite her blistering criticism of Trump, Haley endorsed him after dropping out of the race and spoke in support of his candidacy at the Republican National Convention.
She's supported me, and we had a great primary. It was an unbelievable primary. It was the fastest anyone's ever gone.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th, and if you haven't already, don't forget to fill out your absentee ballots or go to the polls to vote.
While the race for office is in its final steps and candidates rush to convince undecided voters, President Biden is also doing his final steps as president. Secretary of State Lloyd Austin announced a $400 million military aid package to Ukraine during his visit to Kyiv Monday. It consists of more ammunition, including critical 155mm artillery, ammunition, HIMARS, rockets, and more.
And that inspiring coalition of more than 50 allies and partners continues to stand united to provide your country with the security assistance that Ukraine needs to prevail. Under President Biden's leadership, the United States remains committed to keeping up this support. And so I'm pleased to announce today the commitment of a $400 million presidential drawdown package to provide your forces with additional munitions, armored vehicles, and anti-tank weapons.
King Charles and Queen Camilla of the United Kingdom have been touring across Australia when suddenly they were heckled by a senator inside Parliament. Senator Lydia Thorpe shouted out at the king, "You're not my king," and then was escorted out of the Parliament by security. However, this will not stop the king's plans, as he will return to Sydney on Tuesday before his next stop to Samoa.
Coming up on WTOP-10 Nightly News, more information on Disney chairman stepping down.
Plus, what you need to know as you prepare to spend for Halloween.
And it could be your last chance to see one occur for 2 decades, as the next time one will be visible over the continental U.S.
He's May 84. Yarrow told police in the hospital that he had pressed the doorbell and waited.
They mix with oxygen and nitrogen and become briefly
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a close up of that one. Matthew,
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. Disney announces that Chairman Mark Parker will be stepping down at the end of the year. Morgan Stanley CEO James Gorman will be in Parker's position starting in 2025. As Gorman prepares for this position, he is tasked in finding a new CEO due to Bob Iger's departure. It is unclear what led this updated change in Disney's board chair. Disney says Eagers' replacement will be informed in early year of 2026.
The Girl Scouts of America will be raising prices over the next 2 years. The International Council voted to hike prices from $25 to $45 in 2026. Last year, they made $38 million for membership fees, but with the rising cost of living and the change of consumer priorities, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Halloween is right around the corner, but many plan on spending a lot of money on the holiday this year. The National Retail Federation estimates Halloween shoppers will spend a combined $11.6 billion before October 31st. Emily Schmidt breaks down the spending and where you might find the last-minute savings in our latest Consumer Watch.
This is the time of year where fall is big, like more than 2,500 pounds of pumpkin big. Yet this year, it's also big to downsize.
We see consumers willing to invest in these events, but also looking for ways to be smart with their budget.
The National Retail Federation's annual survey predicts that shoppers may spend around $104 per person, down $4.62 from 2023's record high. So overall spending might be lower, though still billions more than just a decade ago.
But is certainly one that captures consumers' attention and focus and generates a lot of excitement around this time of year.
Retailers say nearly 72% of Americans plan to celebrate Halloween, spending the most on candy. An estimated 67% hand that out. Decorations, a fast-growing category, and costumes.
$5. And on Amazon, the same ones that I was looking at are $13.
The National Retail Federation says 12% of shoppers, especially younger consumers, look for costumes at thrift or secondhand stores. Of course, even before the spookiest Halloween screams fade, winter holidays begin. The NRF predicts retail sales growing around 2.5% to 3.5%.
That could put total retail sales for the last 2 months of this year at a record $989 billion.
That's 85 times the amount predicted for Halloween, suggesting the year's retail treats are still ahead. For Consumer Watch, I'm Emily Schmidt.
It's been a busy weekend in sports.
You can say that again. For a recap of the weekend, here's Luke Radis with more. Luke?
Hey guys, Mondays are always a great day for sports news, and we've got plenty. The Lakers shine in their first exhibition match of the season, and the New York basketball team has finally claimed its first championship. All that and more, next.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTOP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTOP.
back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm your sports guy, so let's get it on. Starting things off with field hockey, the SUNYAC has announced their weekly awards. The Lakers' very own Sam Krautheim was selected as the Defensive Athlete of the Week and received an award for her efforts. In 2 games last week for the Lakers, Krautheim collected 15 saves. She was an important part of the first conference win of the season for Oswego last Friday, making 9 saves for her team. Krautheim is a freshman on the team and has started all 14 games in goal. In the world of SUNY hockey, the Oswego State Lakers started their season off with a bang. The Lakers opened their season on Saturday with an exhibition game against the King's College Monarchs. An exciting and physical start to the match ultimately resulted in a 1-0 lead for Oswego. A 5-minute major against the Monarchs would award junior Connor Gatto 2 power play goals in the second period. The Lakers would ride their dominant performance all the way to a 5-1 victory. Moving over to the WNBA, New York got the job done. The franchise that won the first game in WNBA history finally has won the last game of the season. It took all 5 games in the best-of-5 finals, but the New York Liberty became WNBA champions with a 67-62 overtime victory Sunday over the Minnesota Lynx. The Liberty prevailed 3-2 in a series marked by huge shots and big momentum shifts throughout. The Liberty have cemented themselves as legends of the WNBA. And finishing off with pro football, Deshaun Watson's rough season came to an abrupt end yesterday. An MRI revealed that the Cleveland Browns quarterback has a season-ending ruptured right Achilles tendon, the team announced Monday. Coach Kevin Stefanski said Monday that Watson will have surgery, though he's unaware of the exact procedure Watson will undergo. The Browns will add a quarterback this week, but it's unknown if he'll be added to the practice squad or the active roster. If you ask me, it's Jameis Winston time, baby. And moving on to pro football here, we have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Tennessee Titans. Amari Cooper, the newly acquired Buffalo Bill here, acquired from the Cleveland Browns, with an amazing catch there to give the Buffalo Bills a lead later on, 4th quarter. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen finds Ty Johnson for a nice little dump-off pass right in the end zone for an important lead. Later on, 4th quarter, going quick, and it's intercepted by Damar Hamlin, his 2nd pick of the season. And later on that drive, we have Ray Davis rumbling and stumbling into the end zone. A huge touchdown there for Ray Davis with only 1:53 to go. He would give them 6 more points with the point added on. 34-10 would be your final score. The Bills put on an impressive offensive showing in the second half and win this one 34-10 over the Tennessee Titans.
Thanks, Luke. That's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Laker Connections.
Thanks for watching, and everyone have a great night. That went pretty well. Pretty good. What do you think?
It went good.